it's Ashley and welcome back. Today I am excited to tell you that the Rhino Bird Day Stamp and Die set are back in stock at Trinity Stamps, and I'm going to be making a card using this set today. This is one of my favorite sets. I will also be using the Modern Embossed Rectangle Stacked Die set, the Clouds from the Wonky Stitched Wilderness Die set, and I will be also using the Grass from the Scenic Border die set. So my first step is die cutting out the card base using the Modern Embossed Rectangle die, and now I am using the Clouds from the Wonky Stitched Wilderness die set. There's two clouds that I wanted to use, but I wanted there to be three clouds, so I repeated one of them, and these give an embossed impression of the clouds in a little stitched pattern, so they're really fun. Next, I went ahead and cut out my grass, and I die cut out those twice so I could layer them up to create more dimension on my card. Next, I'm going to come in with my blending brush and my ink, and I'm going to ink blend all over the background. For this, I'm using some Spectrum Noir Harmony Water Reactive ink. This color is Oasis. And then I'll come in with one darker shade towards the bottom just to give it some more depth. So now I'm coming in with that darker shade, which is called Lagoon, just at the bottom. Now I'm going to be laying the grass dies right over where my fingers are, so it gives me a place to be able to hold onto the paper, not get my fingers all inky, and I don't need to get ink down there because that part will be covered up by the grass dies. Next, I'm going to move on to the grass. Again, I'm going to start with a lighter color. This is called Spring Meadow, and I'm going to kind of do that all over, and I know this die that I'm working on here is going to be covered up at the bottom with the smaller grass die, so I can kind of use that holding on finger technique for this and not get my fingers all inky and not worry about covering that bottom part with ink. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this step on both pieces of grass, and then I'm going to come in with a darker shade just like I did on the card base. By the way, for all three of these pieces of cardstock that I have been inking up, I am using Bristol Smooth cardstock. It's my go-to for ink blending. It is just a seamless blend. Nothing else, I think, is like it. So go ahead and get yourself some Bristol Smooth and try ink blending on it. If you haven't, it is a life changer. When I'm ink blending a lot of dyes at one time, I like to stay with one color, do everything, and then move on to the next color, just so I don't make the mistake of grabbing a brush that has a darker color on it when I'm hoping it's or meaning for it to be the lighter color. This way I can go in stages, it goes much faster. And then if I'm sticking with the same color tone like I am for this card, I can go ahead and dip that brush into the darker ink color and not worry about it contaminating anything because I'm going from light to dark. So that kind of saves on your brushes if you don't have a lot of them. That's something useful to do. So now I'm all done ink blending. I'm going to come in with my spray bottle of water here and just do a light mist way above everything. I just think it gives it just a little bit more texture to it, and I really like how it looks. Then I'm going to go ahead with my heat tool and set everything before I start my next step. All right, so next I adhered my first grass die to my card base, and then I'm using some double-sided foam adhesive to adhere the second piece, so I can kind of tuck some of those stamps behind that first grass die to just give it some more depth and dimension. So now I've already gone ahead off camera and stamped, die cut, and colored in my images. I'm just finishing coloring in a few of those little bird beaks, and then my coloring is done. I used a lot of grays for the rhinos and then just some kind of more pastel neutral colors for the other pieces, so it looked like a natural scene. So now I'm starting to adhere my pieces and do some scene building, see where I want everything to be. For this little rhino here, I know I want him to be front and center, so I am going to put a little bit of foam adhesive on the top of his head since that sticks up above that first layer of grass, so it's all flush against the whole card base. Especially when you're sending a card in the mail, you want to make sure that none of that's going to wrinkle or bend. So if you can kind of keep it strong, and when you give it a little push it doesn't give in too much, then you know it should be good to go for the mail. So now I'm just finishing up adhering all the little bits and pieces. This is going to be a birthday card, so I put in some of those little birthday hats and little birthday blowers in with these rhinos. So I'm just finishing up doing my scene building here, kind of tucking in little flowers here and there. I like how when you have layers like this, you can kind of tuck things in behind just to give it a lot more depth and dimension. So for that sentiment there, it's your Rhino Bird Day. I actually took one of the sentiment stamps in the set and cut it so I could kind of create my own sentiment here. So that's what I did. I just liked how it sounded. It's your Rhino Bird Day. It's fun and different. So I put those balloons there, and next I am coming in with a black felt tip marker, and I am going to draw the little balloon tail lines. And I'm just drawing them down to the rhino images so it looks like they kind of go right behind the rhinos. So that is the card. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe to Trinity Stamps YouTube page and follow along on our Facebook group, Imagination, Inspiration, and Conversation, for lots of crafty fun. Also, be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. I will have descriptions and links below for everything that I used in this video. Thanks for watching.